Guys, welcome back to Stauffer Garage. Today's detail is going to be a deep clean of the interior and exterior of this convertible 350Z. I'm actually really excited about this car because I have never driven one, never worked on one in person, but I absolutely love them. I think they're really cool cars. So if you guys are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, give this a thumbs up. Let's get started. So today's detail is not a disaster deep clean, obviously, but it is a standard detail of a car that you guys can definitely relate to in finding those different areas and pockets of dirt that you typically wouldn't look for. So my job is to show you the different ins and outs of an exterior and an interior detail and all the different intricacies that you guys can use to make your car spotless. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to start with cleaning the engine bay. And now this is something that you don't do every single time you wash your car. You're going to do this probably seasonally, maybe a couple times a year. It just depends on how you drive your car and where you're driving it. So what I always like to do is lightly coat the entire engine with a little bit of water, underside the hood, inside the engine bay. Don't try to concentrate on a single connector or spraying water directly into the intake snorkel. And then I'm using a all-purpose cleaner in my spray bottle at a 20-to-1 ratio to lightly spray everything inside the engine bay and underneath the hood. And then I'm using my bristle brush to lift the dirt off the surface. Because this car has a battery cover and it's contained in its own compartment, I did not disconnect the negative and the positive from it, but if your battery is exposed, I would definitely recommend removing the battery from the car. And remember your radio codes if you do have one, and make sure you have those handy. Once the car has been brushed and getting all that dirt lifted, I'm using my hose just to rinse it off and then a microfiber towel to dry off the engine bay. For the underside of the hood, it just had the all-purpose cleaner sprayed on, and then I'm using a wet microfiber towel to just wipe it down. Now after the engine bay is done, we're going to move directly into the wheels, and I have a separate soap bucket and tools and everything just for the wheels themselves. But the first thing I always like to do is to spray my cleaner onto the wheels and tires to start getting that brake dust and that road grime and everything that gets caked on your wheels and tires lifted off the surface to make the job a lot easier. So now that we're done with the wheels and the engine bay, I'm going to move on to the exterior, which for the exterior I'm using the 2-bucket method, which if you're not familiar with, it's using 2 buckets. One is going to be specifically for rinsing and one is going to hold your shampoo and your soap and your clean water. And the principle is you're trying to maintain a clean water, a clean sponge every single time you touch your paint. And once you're done, you're going to be rinsing it in your rinse bucket to kind of trap that dirt and grit below your grit guard. One tip I have for you guys is always try to do the tops of your car first. Do the hood, do the roof, then work your ways down the sides, and you're rinsing your sponge every single time you're getting done with a panel. But always save your lower sills, your front bumper, and your rear bumper for last. And the reason why you're doing that is because those are the dirtiest portions of your paint, and if you're using your sponge on those areas, you're risking the possibility of bringing some of that dirt to the top parts of the panel and scratching further. And for the emblems, I like to use a soft bristle brush, which I just use my wash mitt to put soap onto the surface and then use the brush to get into those hard to reach spots that you wouldn't be able to get to with your sponge. Now that we're done washing the car, you guys can see that the sun is starting to get onto the car, so it's time to hustle, get the car into the garage, and then dry it off. For the drying process, I'm using a large waffle weave drying towel. I've grown to love these a lot more, especially when it comes to trying to do a fast drying process. They do a really good job at soaking up a ton of water, and because they are larger, you can drag them across the entire hood pretty much and get a lot of the water off very quickly. Now that the car is in the garage and I have it underneath lighting, I'm able to easily see the imperfections in the paint. So the first process that I'm doing is I'm going to be clay barring the car and then moving into the polishing stage, which sadly, when I clayed the car, I thought I pressed record and it just never happened. But I've done claying in the past, so if you guys have looked at previous exterior details or my polishing video in particular, I talk about it and show you how to clay bar. But for this car, I did a clay bar on the entire surface before I started the polishing. All right, guys, so we're gonna step away from the detail real quick because I need to show you something that I picked up for my front lawn, because when they put this cool new driveway in, they completely tore up the entire irrigation system. Every pipe got broken, and now we gotta water this front lawn. But who's gonna do it by hand in those typical swinging sprinkler systems? All they do is just miss the entire portion of your grass that you wanna hit. So let me show you a solution that you need to check out. So what I did is I picked up the Stauffer Irrisense. This is an automatic sprinkler that will make sure that none of this water goes all over here where it doesn't actually do anything. It stays right in here and hits all of the spots that I need in my yard perfectly. So let's get this thing unboxed and let me show you what we got. So first box, this are tools that we need: our locator, our wrenches, our stakes to mount this thing in the ground. Cool part is it comes with a couple hose adapters as well to make this a super easy install for you. And like I said, the power cord that it comes with, one, it's your typical adapter that plugs in the wall, but it gives you this super quick disconnect, easy extension cord. So that way you don't have a power cord or anything running outside. You can use this to pretty much make it go anywhere. Now, one other cool thing that this thing has that's awesome is you pull this adapter off, and this is a jug that you can get so you can actually fertilize, pest control, all that stuff built into the watering nozzle. So as you're watering the grass, it'll also pesticide and also spray fertilizer for you, a couple different products. So that is from Stauffer. You can get that where you put that jug and gallon thing in there. It makes it super simple and easy to care for your lawn. Mine is the fact that you get to water it super easy. So let's go and mount this thing, get it set up, so that way we can start keeping this lawn looking magnificent. Now with everything anchored down here, we're gonna hook up our hose. We got a nice little inline water filter. And then here's that quick disconnect power cord that I was talking about to get this thing booted up. Power is on. Let's connect it now to the phone.
Now the best part is while this thing's running in the background, I can just stand right here and I'm not gonna get soaking wet. Second, you don't have to worry about the hassle of having everything installed, the tear up, the broken pipes, the pop-up sprinkler heads. You have everything right here in this one single unit. This thing simplified my lawn care routine, one, because I don't have to worry about turning on the sprinkler, and two, when I want to fertilize the grass, that's on a schedule too, so no more services needed to have somebody come out to fertilize my grass and worry about bugs, because this thing and Aper have me covered. Now also, if I want to ever turn this thing on remotely, I can from my phone. Turn it on, let the kids run through it, play in it, water extra if it's super hot outside. Apier and the Irrisense has me covered. This thing is capable of 2,400 to 4,800 square feet of lawn coverage. Now most sprinklers just spray water out, but this thing has an even rain mode where it's with its unique nozzle. It has a spray distance of 39 feet, causes no damage to the plants because of the pressure of that stream, but also it disperses the coverage of water, not just in one spot, but across the entire stream across the ground. So it allows for even coverage no matter where you're watering your yard. Now if you guys want to check out the Aper Irrisense, I have everything linked down below for you guys, but I also recommend you guys search on Google or on YouTube to watch more videos about this system and how it can simplify your lawn care routine, save you money, and make sure you guys have a perfect green lawn this summer.
And with the help of my brush, I can get into all the switches and the hard to reach spots that my talon fingers wouldn't be able to. The next spot I'm going to move to is I'm starting to move to that rear top cover of the convertible top, and then also to those roll bar covers for the seats, and starting to work my way around the car. This is one of those areas that I was actually surprised with how much dirt was in there. It makes sense though if the top is being loaded up and down, and then with the amount of debris that can get collected in there with the movement of it. But I'm just using my all-purpose cleaner to spray on those different door jambs and underneath that cover and wiping it down with my microfiber towel. Next, I move into the leather seats, which these seats are a white cream color, and using my Lexol cleaner and conditioner, I was using my bristle brush to get into all those different perforations along the different stitch seams to get those cleaned. I also utilized my soft bristle drill brush to get into some of those spots that I wasn't able to quite get to with my brush very quickly. The drill brush just helped me speed it up a little bit. Now that the seats are cleaned and conditioned, I'm going to be using my all-purpose cleaner to wipe down all of the different plastic trims on the side and the back of the headrest and the back of the seat before moving into the vacuuming stage. Now this car wasn't overly dirty, so I just used the seat sliders to move the seat forward and backwards to get to any of the dirt that's underneath it. Now continue the same process and repeat it on the other side of the car, starting with the passenger door frame, the door panel, and moving to the seat. Now that the vacuuming's done, I'm going to move on to the passenger door panel and door frame, working on cleaning those with my all-purpose cleaner, and then moving on to the dashboard. For all the air vents and all the different pockets and different hard to reach spots, the bristle brushes definitely come in handy with getting those cleaned. One spot commonly missed is definitely the window visors. Make sure you're moving those up and down. You're making sure you're getting into all the different bracketry associated with those to get those cleaned. For the center console area where you have this cup holder and you also have the shifter cover, I was a little bit disappointed I wasn't able to get those clean, but they actually weren't dirty. The plastic piece with the black spotting was actually being worn through from the paint, and then the actual shifter cover surround was the clear coat coming off of it slightly. So I could have sanded them down and painted them if the customer wanted me to, but for this job they just wanted me to clean everything for them. And after everything's been wiped down on the inside of the car with your top coat for your interior, I always like to do the gauges and the inside of the windshield last with my glass cleaner. Now for the engine bay, I'm using the same dressing that I used on the interior and lightly spraying it across the engine bay and wiping it off with a microfiber towel. And here are the end results, and if you guys have seen my details in the past, this is definitely on the mild spectrum of cleaning that needs to be done. But the best part is when you have a car that's mildly dirty and you're able to deep clean it and go above and beyond what you typically would do, and you can actually elevate it to a level that you wouldn't expect, that's when you know you did a really good job, and that's something that I felt with this car I was able to obtain. I think the best part is the customer was super happy when they picked up the car and just blown away with the results. They actually called me 2 days later to reiterate how much nicer the car looks, because they started seeing all the different pockets behind the seats and underneath the hatch and the engine bay, and they started noticing all the different areas that were cleaned that they did not expect to get cleaned. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, if you could buy any car right now, regardless of the price, what car would it be? Let me know in the comments below what you would pick up. My car personally, I'd probably pick up a Lamborghini Huracan. I think that's the car that I would pick up if I could tomorrow. And if you guys enjoy all of these detailing tips and tricks in all of my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and give this video a big thumbs up. So guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm going out my mind. Give me some directions to get to you.